Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my podcast, Snacks Thoughts. I say again, guys, welcome to my podcast, Snacks Thoughts. And what is my thought for today? Well, it's no secret if you guys have been following the news or media. Um, we know about the laws in marriage that are changing. And Ron DeSantis down in Florida has finally um, changed the alimony laws. Basically, there's no longer any permanent alimony in Florida once you divorce. So from what I understand, the alimony, I believe at best, it can only last maybe about the half the term of the marriage. So if the marriage lasted 10 years, they can only receive alimony for 5 at max, if they even get that. But pretty much they're basically wiping out alimony for the divorced spouse. So hey, the party's over. And then obviously there's no fault divorce laws. I believe that's they ended that. I think that's in Texas. This is going on somewhere starting in the South. It's starting in the South. So I guess maybe somebody's lobbying, or either these congressmen or these senators or these policymakers, politicians. I guess they've been seeing what's going on, and probably a lot of it has to do with probably declining birth rates as well, and the decline in marriage. And I guess they see all these different things happening, and they look at the statistics for the divorce rates, and also who's initiating them. Now, most divorces it's above, I think it's above 80% are initiated by women. So I have to think that's playing a role into it. But they probably, I guess maybe some have been listening to some of these MGTOW guys, men going their own way, and they've probably been seeing the start of the passport bros picking up, and then these just, I guess, different ideologies. Save yourself. Black men, but all men doing it, and so seeing the state of this current, and I'm gonna tie it in. This is my way of thinking about it. I believe that it's more for politicians at the top. I believe it's more economics and about power and control, and so you can't have a society if you don't produce offspring and have families. So if women are freezing their eggs and remaining single, and if young men are opting out of marriage, and even men opting out of the labor force, you can't have a society that's going to function like that. You have to have men and women come together and get married, and you have to have families. You have to have families, because this single mother thing is, it's not working for our society. It's not working. It's turning out to backfire. And there's, I guess, with the decline of marriage, you're not building enough stable families, and through stable families, in most cases, that is how wealth is built, or how people move up together in socioeconomic class. So it's a combination, I believe, of those factors as to why they're starting to change certain things. Changing the outruling abortion in certain states, because they need women to produce babies. And then there's also let me see, was it Dave's and Bridal? I believe if they didn't go out of business yet, they're tanking, and they're on their way, out of business. I think they're close to filing bankruptcy. So certain things that affect the marriage industry, it's down bad. To buy like diamonds and engagement rings, jewelry, they're taking a very bad hit, because men and women are they're not coming together like they did in the past, and it's declining vastly, especially with this social media age. OnlyFans, and you have all this different stuff on internet, and more and more guys becoming Madden kings. And I believe that this was it was already bad. It was happening, but I think that the pandemic with But anyway, I'll just say the pandemic. The pandemic accelerated this. It was already happening, but it accelerated it. And what happened is that you lock people down, and men and women stop congregating or coming together. And so now you're getting a society that's starting to split off, where people are getting more to themselves, and it's either hookup culture or tend to swipe left, swipe right. But you're not having men and women interact enough like they used to, and they're not coming together, forming through marriages, stable families and stable households. And I believe that's part of the cause for it. And I believe that these elites and politicians have, they've probably been watching this for a little bit before they finally made a move. But I think that with maybe certain men starting to walk away from the idea of marriage and maybe having children, and some getting ready to either go overseas or just choosing just to remain lifelong bachelors, I think they've taken a look at it, and it's hit their radar finally, and they finally realize, hey, we got to make some, and that's not the only reason, but that's part of it. But the reason is that if you don't get men and women to come together, they don't get married, they don't build families, and basically that's money and power. If you can't replenish the next generation down, then you won't have a society. It will basically go extinct. And I believe that's a big reason why they're trying to hurry up and get these migrants in here, so that they can produce more of a population or the next generation down, because they need people. If you don't have young people, you're not going to have a military, because people get older and they age out. If you don't have the youth or young people or the next generation, how are corporations and businesses supposed to move on? Who's gonna buy this? Who's gonna produce the products? Who's gonna buy the products? You have to have people. And I believe that the elites and these politicians, they are beginning to recognize, and they're starting to see a decline. And now it's starting, and especially with the crisis, with this debt crisis that we're in, they're starting to feel the heat of it, because we're not producing enough in this country as it is. And there's a certain number of men aged from, I believe, 18 to, I think it might be 17 to 56 or something like that, that are missing from the labor force. And these are healthy, able-bodied men. They're trying to figure out, where are these men at? Because they need their labor for them to produce. But you have to pay people a living wage, and that's another problem. If you don't pay people a living wage, then if they feel that they can't make it or can barely take care of themselves, why would they come together in a marriage and then try to make it in a marriage and then try to have children, which is more of a responsibility, and it becomes more of a financial burden if you're not able and prepared to be able to handle that. Kids are a blessing, but they're a responsibility. And marriage is a blessing, but it incurs a responsibility on both the man and the woman. And so, both, that's some of the reasons why some of them are pulling out of it and delaying marriage, or some just not getting married at all, because they can't afford it. But it's begun to spill over into society in mass, and it's affecting economies. And I believe that's where the true problem is. It's power and money. They don't care about the men or the women. They need the men to keep getting married or keep producing and give us those tax dollars. And they've obviously forced the women into the workforce, and it's fair. Women are producing, and they want women to work too, so they can get them tax dollars. But they also want women to keep producing children, so they can have worker bees or drones to carry on the next generation. And if these women have to go into the labor force, many are spending more time in their careers, and if they're not making enough money, or they're not finding, I guess, maybe viable candidates in a male counterpart, it's going to cause a problem, in the marriage and dating market. So I believe that's some of the issues. But no more lifetime alimony. in the state of Florida, and no fault divorce. I believe in Texas and other states, it is over. It is over. And there was a certain group of females that they said if they're not going to have alimony anymore in Florida, then they're going to abandon the Republican Party. So it's like, wow, talk about being strong and independent, But I think that it's a good lesson, about depending on anything from a system, and then also it would make people with these, you take away these certain safety nets, it makes people step back and make a more conscious decision about who they choose to marry and if they should go into marriage at all. If you going in, you better be 10 toes down, and consider who you're marrying. And so many times, obviously, you're going to, almost about 100% of people are going to say, well, it didn't start off badly, or nobody goes in intentionally trying to harm each other. And while that may be true, I think that some people, number one, are not fully whole before they decide to get married to someone else. Number two, they don't take the time to consider, what they're doing before they jump in so quick. Some people, if they can get married more than once, they jump in and out of marriages like they bed hopping, And I've known guys that do it. It's like they get out of one marriage and divorce that one, and not even a year later with a chance to heal, they dive in to another. Then some go into a third. It's just like, wow. It's like, well, do you even love that person? And then, same with some women. Before they can even have a chance to heal up, that they're going in again, and then boom, that one fails, and they jumping in to another one. If they can get it, But I think by them killing off, like I said, no false divorce laws, and then killing off this alimony, you take away that safety net, and it's not going to be so easy to get out. It'll make you consider, the partner that you're picking and what you're getting into. I myself, and I will admit, I myself have only been engaged twice. I have not, been married yet, but I am will be embarking on that journey soon. But I'm getting ready to head on out the country, and then I'll seek my mate, over there, But the one thing I think that people should be fair and honest with yourself, and be fair to the other person. If you about being a gold digger, why go in and go to try to mess up somebody else's life? If you know that your intents, are not right, and you're not going to be 10 toes down for that person, why bother and get involved in that person's life? A meal ticket can only last so long, and this goes, like I said, for guys also, if you're not going to be faithful, and 10 toes down for the woman, that you say that you're choosing, why get into that person's life just to mess it up or to make someone else miserable? And I think that everyone, before they got married, they were single. None of us came out of our mother's womb married, so we were all single. And so I think that we need to, for those of us that are single, we need to make a conscientious choice. Nobody's perfect, and no situation is ever going to be perfect. But I think that we should be as whole as we can be, and going, doing it for the right reasons. Hey, if marrying for a safety net, and that's what some people want, and the other parties with it, hey, more power to you. And people get married for different reasons. Hey, that's their business. But as you can see by the divorce rates, and obviously, some of this stuff is not working. And for people to bounce out of a marriage so quickly, and it's like a trend. It tells you that something is not working right. You got to be in it to win it for marriage. Marriage is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. So, but anyway, That's just my take, but just something to think about. But yeah, the alimony train in Florida, it's over, you know. So if you marry that person, if you think they got some bread going in, hey, you better enjoy it, you know, while it lasts. But if you decide to divorce that person, you know, in Florida, know that you ain't gonna be coming out, you know what I'm saying, with as much as you thought you were, or you ain't gonna be coming out with anything. You know, you leave what you came with, or not much more than that. So they're killing it. You know what I'm saying? This no fault divorce law. You know what I'm saying? You say that you in, and until death do us part. Well, now you got what you asked for. So you better choose wisely. But that's all I have on this one, guys. And again, the name of this podcast is Snacks Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS, Snacks Thoughts. And I also have a YouTube channel called Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. And lastly, I'm teaching courses on Skillshare on how to succeed in the military, cultural diversity, leadership, and a host of other topics. And I will leave the link in the description. So please join the class. Love to have you, and share it. Push it out. Share Snacks Thoughts. Share Eric Broadus YouTube. And share it. What I'm teaching on Skillshare. Push it out. Friends, family, frenemies, enemies, cats, dogs, bats, roaches, rats, you know what I'm saying, goats. Push it out and share it. All right, guys? That's all I have on this one. Peace out. See you on the next one.